final time, number 24, Kobe Bryant.
Kobe gets to the rim, reverse, good and a foul!
Kobe putting on a show one last time. Hits another three. Unbelievable stuff tonight. There it is, a 50-point game in his farewell. Bryant on the move with the jumper.
Kobe Bryant, on the final night of his NBA career, scores 60 points.
This is absolutely crazy. You can't write something better than this.
One of 6 60-point games in the career of Kobe Bryant as they continue to sign the wall outside Staples Center at LA Live. And the crowd continues to mingle and remember and grieve. We are joined inside Staples Center now by a couple of Kobe's former teammates. Derrick Fisher shared in 5 titles with Kobe. Rick Fox shared in 3. Guys, thank you so much. We appreciate the time tonight. Rick, I've got to get this out of the way because it bothers me so much. Because in the wake of this tragedy on Sunday, somehow your name came out in the media. Somebody put it out there. And I don't know how that happens. And I don't know how you deal with that, or if you have to tell people, how do you tell the people that need to know the most this is not true?
Moment to moment. I don't wish it on anyone. This moment has been overwhelming for all of us. First and foremost to the families that were lost. Obviously, their lives have been turned upside down. To our brother Kobe and his family, Vanessa, Natalia, Bianca, Capri, we send our prayers and condolences. My family went through, in the midst of all of this, something I couldn't have imagined them experiencing. I spent time talking to my kids for about 45 minutes as this was all happening, and our colleague Jared Greenberg brought to me the news that morning, and he asked by text if I had heard of the story, and I said, oh, the shoes that Kobe gave LeBron, and Kobe passed him last night, and he said no. He said, this is, you need to sit down. And he texted me the article, and I went into full-blown denial. And fortunately, one of my daughter's greatest fears is finding out that a parent or one of her parents would be lost through social media instead of from a loved one or a family member. And she fortunately called me, and we just were talking and crying about the news of Kobe and my son. And then we started, so we were talking. I was talking to my kids, just trying to spend the time with them, and then the phone just started going off. And I'm thinking to myself, everybody wants to talk about Kobe, and I right now want to be with my kids and my family. And then all of a sudden, my best friend King Rice, who's a basketball coach, King Kenny, North Carolina.
I'll tell you the story between King and King.
Okay, he walked off the court at Iona, and somebody apparently told him that I may have been on the helicopter, and he started calling. So I'm seeing King's number, repeatedly going and going and going, and I think he's worried about me. So I said, I'm going to talk to my best friend, and I answered it, and I said, hey man, this is crazy about Kobe, and he just was bawling, and I started crying, and he was like, you're alive. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, like, what do you mean? And it was in that moment that my phone just started going, and my mom and my sister and my brother, and so look, this has been a lot to process for all of us. Quite frankly, we're blessed to have had the time we had with Kobe. A city is mourning, a family's mourning, where we're all mourning, and I'm glad that's over with, but it was hard to deal with because it shook a lot of people in my life.
I know, Derrick, we want to get to you, but our connection with the Tar Heel family first. Rick, when he was a freshman, used to come to Sacramento and stay with me.
You raised me, man.
And work my basketball camps. Yeah. And so when I heard the news, Rick, I was like, man, Kobe. So you're crying, and then I'm driving home, and I get the text that Rick Fox was on the plane, on the helicopter. And I tell my dad, I'm driving with my dad, I said, I can't check because I'm driving, and it would be too much for me right now. So King Rice also used to come with Rick, and they'd stay in my house. So I called J.R. Reed, because I know he's on the staff as well. And I text him, and J.R. doesn't text me back. So now I'm super nervous. And so we're at my house, and I'm just waiting, and I'm debating what to do. And I'm telling my son, I'm like, I don't know if I should call him. And so I just text Rick. I said, just say hey. And he texts back, hey, with a broken heart in my heart. And I just screamed.
It's
the race to be first.
Yeah, that's irresponsible.
Tell the story.
Yeah.
You don't know what it does.
It's irresponsible.
It's
irresponsible.
It's
You
so
know, that
absurd.
was the thing that was crazy about the whole story, because I got upset because obviously I know you more from TV working with you than playing with you and go to North Carolina. I'm like, oh my God, Rick was on the plane too. And then I watched CNN for like 6-7 hours straight, and they only had 5 people.
Yeah.
And then you find out 5 hours later, it's 9 people.
Yeah.
And then you find out later, Gigi's on the plane. It was one of the most excruciating times. I mean, I was already crying because of Kobe, and then I thought you were on the plane. Then you found his daughter's on the plane. Then you find out there's 4 extra people on the plane, and you're like, it was a lot, man. It was a lot.
D-Fish, what kind of perspective can you add to this?
Finding out as I was on my way to LAX to travel, started getting text messages, please don't tell me this is Kobe. And again, I'm thinking about the night before still. So I'm confused as to why somebody's texting me just saying that, and that's it. So then I get a call from my fiance, and I can hear in her voice, something's not right. So now my heart starts to really speed up. Then my brother texts me with the first media story attached to the message, and I lost it. Luckily, I was a passenger in the vehicle. So now I had to explain to my guy, Duran, who's with me tonight, like, what just happened. He loses it. My kids start calling me and asking me to come back home. Do not go to the airport and get on the airplane. They're devastated. And I get back home before I can get in front of a television. Just as a family, we're all hugging each other and saying we love each other, because you never know if that's going to be the last moment. My mom calls me, which took this to another level of pain. My mom calls me. She lives in Little Rock. She tells me the rumor is that Rick was there too. And that broke my heart. Already thinking about Kobe, learning about Rick. And then when I got home and started watching CNN, I find out it's where it happened, which is 3 exits from my house. And then I knew exactly where he was on his way to, which then, before I even heard on the news,
you knew what
then I knew where he was going, and it was possible that
your sons and everybody in your family playing these AAU tournaments there, you knew exactly what was going on.
And it was possible that his more family with him, whether it's Gianna or Vanessa or other, like I was done. And that's what I don't want to get lost in the pain. Like, as I try to figure out the right things to focus on to help us get through it, is what he was doing for young people and young girls and women. He's not here anymore, but somehow we have to continue to find the strength to do more for other people than we would do for ourselves. Like you said earlier, Kenny, like, He didn't have to spend the time he was spending doing all of these things for young people and young girls, of course for his own daughter. But I just hate that this had to happen in order for us to appreciate the full version of Kobe.